Steve, Steph was just talking about it, but what does it do for the group when you're getting so many contributions up and down the roster from everybody in the group?
It gives everybody confidence, and it also gives everyone kind of a stake, in what we're trying to do. And it's my favorite thing is when we can get 10, 12 guys contributing to a win. Every night's different, but when everybody feels really engaged and important, there's a spirit that's captured within the team. And I think this group has a real chance to do that. We've got such good guys, and we've got so much depth, so many people who can play. So this was a great example of that tonight.
Coach, as the game went on, the turnovers got better and the defensive presence got better on the side of the Warriors. But what was going on in that first half where there was some drop-off before everything kind of started to take off?
We didn't connect the game very well. They were controlling the game with their pace, and we needed to get the tempo under control by taking care of the ball and taking our time in possession, getting the ball to Jimmy, letting him make a play, get to the foul line, all that kind of stuff. So I thought we connected the game in the second half. Our offense helped our defense and vice versa, and we really put together a good half.
Steve, you mentioned before the game that you could feel that Brandon was pressing those first three games. What did you feel from him tonight, and when can you tell early in the game that he's more in the flow of things?
Well, it helped that he knocked down the first shot of the game, and but he just looked like the guy we saw all training camp and all last year, or the second half of last year once he got it going. And it's a great night for Brandon. He and Moses knocking down 10 threes combined. That was really impressive and fun to watch. And we feel like we've got a lot of weapons, a lot of depth. You guys haven't even asked me about JK at 25 and 10 boards, 4 assists. I thought he was fantastic. So a lot of guys really played well tonight.
32 rebounds for Kuminga in 4 games. How important is that?
JK has been fantastic. It just feels like he's found his spot with this group. Playing with Jimmy and Dre on the front line, and we just feel like he's the way he's rebounding, the way he's attacking the rim. That's what makes him special. Like his athleticism, his force, and when he's playing to that talent, to that ability, it changes our team and it changes his game. So he's been great.
Steve, Moses had those back-to-back threes there, kind of, I think, a little less than 5 minutes left in the third. Then Steph had one a couple possessions later. But how much did that stretch sort of to extend the lead and keep pushing there matter?
Yeah, I thought that was a key stretch, 36-24 in the third period. So winning that quarter and extending our lead and then Moses, throughout the second half, knocking down shot after shot. It was great. We finally created some separation and kept the lead.
Brandon, Moses, and JK, obviously all 20-plus points apiece today. Just how significant is it to see your youth all play well at the same time?
Yeah,
in front of
it's
the
exciting.
back-to-back?
It's exciting, and we've seen it in spurts. Probably haven't seen that happen. All 3 of those guys in the 20s. I'm guessing that's the first time that's happened, but it's huge. But it's a reminder that these young guys are putting in the work and getting better every year. And it's, we always say progress isn't linear necessarily, but you think about all the ups and downs that all 3 of those guys have had over the last at least couple years, in JK and Moses' case, really 4 years. That's impressive that they've stayed with it and continued to fight, and they're now playing at a really high level together. It's very exciting.
Steve, did you think that you'd still be able to watch the World Series after your game ended?
I didn't anticipate the game would still be going on, so I am excited to wrap this up and head down.
Last thing though, but actually, seriously, Ohtani, I mean, do you see similarities in the way that he shines in the big moments, the way Steph does? I mean, are there any parallels there? I mean, do you love watching that guy play baseball?
I hadn't made that connection, between those two athletes, but yeah, there's certain guys who seem to step up in the moment, and yeah, they both qualify, obviously.
Kuminga, you had a really strong performance out there tonight. Just kind of take us through what it was and what kind of steadied you guys throughout the game, because it was a slow start, but then you guys kind of found a way to kind of find a rhythm throughout.
I think early we weren't really disciplined on how we commit some fouls and taking care of the ball. We're a little sloppy first, and I think we spoke about it. And just coming back for the second half, we took care of the ball. We're out there just playing with a good pace.
You're one of four guys on the team with at least 20 points tonight. How valuable is it to get contributions up and down the roster?
It's great. Just everybody going out there doing their job and just contribute. And just helping us, get this win. It means, it matters a lot.
32 rebounds in the first 4 games for you. You got 32 rebounds in the first 4 games. How's that side of the ball sort of been working well for you?
I don't even know how to respond to this. I think I'll say just commitment of just doing it, just doing it, no matter what. Even if I'm making shots, I'm not making the shot. Not seeing the ball, I'm seeing the ball. Just having that commitment, just going out there, chasing those rebounds, and wherever they go, those rebounds, some of those, help win games. So just having that mindset, from the beginning, it's something that I'm trying to have, going throughout the year, and just throughout my career, just working on finding those balls and just rebounding and just, and I think I just enjoy doing it,
Kerr actually kind of spoke about that. Steve Kerr, head coach Kerr, spoke about that, saying how when you just want to go out there and do it using your athleticism to get rebounds, to get baskets, to get the ball up the floor, it kind of helps this team, that you found a place in this team so that you can play within like your game. What did it take for that to happen? Did it take conversations with the players? Did it take just being out there on the floor for a significant amount of time? What helped you kind of to settle into that place Steve Kerr is talking about?
It's just one of those aspects of my game that I think I just needed to work on and just to improve on. And just going throughout the summer, I sat down, and really thought about what can I add on my game that's not scoring, that's not just playing defense, or, just how can I impact winning. And I think just adding a rebounding mindset, I think, is just a big part of what I just had to go through the summer and just think about it and just, just trying to apply as much as I can. Some nights I probably won't grab some, but just having that mindset of just crashing every time, just going out there. Even if I don't get those, my presence will help somebody else grab those rebounds. So I think it's just something I've been thinking about, and, I think I'm doing pretty well so far. And, there's just only way to go and just keeping up that same, that same work.
Cool, thank you.
Oh, you came here.
Thank you. Moses up here shortly. Want to know Corey to hear Moses.
It's a good day when everybody has a good day. So, Steph and Jimmy's going to do what they do, Steph, Jimmy, and Dre. But everybody else being able to contribute and have a good day, that's a fun day as a team.
Steve had said before the game that Brandon might be kind of searching and maybe pressing a little bit, but to have him come out like that tonight, I mean, how much can one game and momentum for everybody, really?
Yeah, that's all it takes. Like you say, if you're searching, you might have found something. So that's how the NBA works. You know, you have good games, bad games, but just stringing a couple of them together, that can start something special.
Moses, you've been here the entire time that JK's been here, to my knowledge. That being said, like, you've seen kind of the metamorphosis of his time as a Warrior, and then you see well, you may have heard Steve Kerr, actually, Coach Kerr said today that he's found his place on this team. Kind of just watching that process, what did that look like from your perspective? Like, what has he found that has helped him to find his place?
That's a good question. I've seen JK go through a journey. You know, we kind of grew up together in this NBA world. We played against each other in high school and everything. So seeing him really figure things out off the court too, like just mentality-wise, and being able to be okay with different situations. It's really impressive to me to see him. And like this summer was cool for just when, like, you know, whatever the drama was, but him getting here and the attitude, the energy that he had, even when stuff wasn't going his way, the person that he was able to be, the way he played on the court, it's just maturity is what it seems like. And when you do the right thing, things usually go your way. So it's cool to see.
Moses, tomorrow you guys have a little bit later start time. How do you guys feel about playing at 8 o'clock and, of course, playing on a back-to-back?
Yeah, that's cool with me. It's good to have much time between games as we can, especially on a back-to-back. So I'll take the late game for tomorrow.
All right, with the late game, we are done in here.
Quinton Post reveals what Stephen Curry did that mattered more than scoring. Quinton Post is quickly becoming one of the most intriguing young talents on the Golden State Warriors roster. In his rookie season, he quietly made a name for himself, shooting an impressive 40.8% from three-point range and averaging 8.1 points per game. As a modern stretch big, he's carved out a valuable role in the Warriors' rotation, and he's not done yet. During the preseason, Post continued to show his offensive potential, especially in a standout performance against the Portland Trail Blazers where he dropped 16 points, including 3 three-pointers. But when asked about his recent success, Post didn't take the credit for himself. Instead, he pointed to one major factor: Stephen Curry. "What you saw out there, that's just the effect of having Steph Curry on the floor," Post said. "He makes everything so much easier for everyone on offense. And defensively, I think we handled things much better than the last time we faced them." The game marked Curry's return after missing the previous matchup against the Lakers. And he didn't disappoint, putting up 28 points and leading the Warriors to a 118-111 win over Portland. "This was a big statement game for him," Post added. "He sat out last game, and then came back and just took over. He said something before tip-off that really stuck with me. But more than anything, it's his leadership, the way he sets the tone, that makes the biggest difference." While Curry leads the way offensively, Post is focused on improving where it really matters for his position: rebounding. Despite his offensive contributions, Post pulled down only 2 defensive rebounds in the game. Not enough, he admits, for a player in his role. "We did a better job controlling the pace, but we still had too many turnovers. And on defense, I'm not even sure what the rebounding numbers were. I just know I need to be better. That's my priority right now, becoming a more effective rebounder." Last season, Post faced criticism for his defensive inconsistency. He knows that if he wants to keep growing and solidify his role long-term, that's the area he has to improve. Fortunately, he's not doing it alone. With the mentorship of Al Horford, who shares a similar playing style as a stretch 5, Post is in the right environment to evolve. If he continues to develop, especially on the defensive end, Quinton Post could be a key piece in the Warriors' rotation for years to come. And with Steph Curry leading by example, he's got one of the best blueprints in the game to learn from. But what makes Post's comments so striking isn't just his humility, it's the deeper acknowledgement of how Stephen Curry continues to reshape the game without always needing to light up the scoreboard. For a young player like Post, recognizing the power of Curry's off-ball move, leadership, and court gravity shows a level of maturity that's catching the attention of coaches and analysts alike. Internally, sources close to the team say the coaching staff has been impressed with Post's approach during training camp. While his shooting numbers draw the headlines, it's his willingness to learn and take ownership of his weaknesses, like rebounding and defensive, that's earned him growing respect in the locker room. In particular, His openness about needing to improve on the glass has resonated with veterans like Draymond Green and Kevin Looney, who have both taken on mentoring roles with him in recent weeks. During practices, Post has been seen working closely with assistant coaches focusing on boxing out drills, rebounding reads, and interior footwork, a sign that he's committed to rounding out his game. Outside of the Warriors camp, Post's preseason performance and his comments about Curry sparked interest across NBA media. Analysts on national shows highlighted the quote about Curry making everything easier, using it as yet another example of the intangible impact the two-time MVP has on his teammates. Former players and commentators have also pointed out that this kind of awareness, especially from a rookie, is rare, and could signal that Post has the mindset to stick in the league. "You don't hear a lot of young bigs talking like that," said one analyst during a post-game breakdown. "He understands the game beyond just stats." That's huge. Looking ahead, the Warriors see Post as a potential long-term piece, someone who can eventually fill a similar role to Al Horford, a smart, versatile big who stretches the floor, moves the ball, and plays within the system. If he can elevate his rebounding and improve his defensive reads, he may even find himself closing games down the line. For now, though, Post remains focused on the next step. "There is still so much I need to work on," he said after the win over Portland. "But being around guys like Steph, Draymond, Looney, it's helping me grow faster. I just want to keep earning my minutes." As the regular season approaches, all eyes will be on whether Post can carry his preseason momentum into meaningful games. And if he does, with Curry still drawing defenders and opening lanes, the Warriors might have found a valuable new weapon hiding in plain sight.